Grand Rising, everybody. Original Lone Wolf coming at y'all. Got a little video that I want to put together real quick. Point out a couple of things about your boy, the Orange Face, and to shed a little bit of light on this immigration thing. As I told you guys before, until we, the so-called blacks, colored, Negroes, African American, American Indians, and indigenous motherfuckers, whatever the fuck you call yourself, until we cleanse our mind, our body, and our soul, we're going to continue to watch and witness shit happen that's not supposed to be happening. Okay? First and foremost, let me start off by saying this. Borders are imaginary. They're not real. They don't exist. Okay? Which is the reason for why Donald Trump never built that wall. It's kind of impossible to do if you think about it. Right? Now, number two, I understand that there are probably some people here from another country that are here with criminal records, and some of them might have committed crimes since they've been here, right? And I know people don't want people around who commit crimes. And that's fine, because I feel the same way, okay? But when you are dealing with this governmental corporation, right, that is the most criminal of all, because you got people cheering, yeah, get these motherfuckers out of here and blah, blah, blah. They taking our jobs and da, 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 right? The only thing that I disagree with about groups of people coming to some other country or whatever is the ones that are running from, oppression, they government fucked up and all this other shit. Them the only people that I have a problem with coming here. And the reason for why, especially is if you are of a young fighting age. Now, if you an elderly motherfucker or you retarded or something, that's, a little bit different. Or a child, that's a little bit different. But if you are of fighting age, I have a serious problem with motherfuckers coming here in droves because of those reasons. Because their government is corrupt and all this other shit, right? Because you're supposed to stay and deal with that shit. You're supposed to stay and put an end to it. You don't change your fucking government by tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people fleeing the fucking country. That's not how you change that. You change the injustices and the corruption that's going on by those tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people, instead of fleeing, staying where the hell they are and saying, no, motherfucker, you gotta go, Mr. Corrupt Official. That's how you put an end to that. So I am against people coming to other countries in mass droves that are of fighting age, that are of sound, able mind and body, that are running from a fucking country because they got corrupt governments and corrupt officials. You all are supposed to kick the motherfuckers in their ass and send them on their way. Right? Now, however, back to the topic at hand. Whether or not the people that their ICE is going around arresting have criminal records or whatever the case may be, what they're doing is going to be a precursor for what you're starting or going to start seeing more frequently. And what is that, Lone Wolf? What you are going to start seeing more frequently is military-style cops everywhere. Everywhere. And I'm talking about this is going to be the norm. This isn't going to be just when SWAT is dispatched. Some sort of mass gunman or, some sort of dude that's supposed to be a mass shooter or something. And, how they all get strapped up and suited and booted for them type of events. But, when it's just a regular call or whatever, they just in a regular uniform. No, what you're watching is a precursor for every time you see them, they're going to be in militarized gear. Every time you see them, they're going to be in militarized vehicles. That's what's coming. All because you got enough stupid ass fucking people in this country, regardless of skin color, regardless of hair texture, regardless of a motherfucker color eyes, constantly siding and picking and choosing with this evil ass government put out. You constantly taking sides to it. Because my thing is this. These motherfuckers come here, you fall in line. Learn how to speak fucking English and go with the fucking flow. You commit crimes, you do shit you ain't got no business doing, you start murdering people and shit, we gonna lock you up or fuck you up. One of the two. And life goes on. That's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way it's supposed to be. But what you're witnessing right here, you're witnessing a situation to where the real issue is not immigration. The real issue is not these people here illegally. Like I had to tell one person who left a comment on one of my older videos. They were saying something about, yeah, they brought 100 million illegal immigrants here. And it's like, sweetheart, no, they didn't. No, they didn't. They didn't even bring the 30 to 40 million illegal immigrants here. That just was a lie. See, the truth was they brought illegals here. The truth was they allowed a bunch of motherfuckers that probably shouldn't have been in this country. And I ain't talking about by skin color and shit. You know, I'm talking about by way of crime and the fact that they don't mean the country no good. There's plenty of motherfuckers that shouldn't have been here that they're allowed to come here, but it wasn't no 30, 40, 50 million people. Here's what you got to ask your motherfucking self. When they on the news, when they were showing you videos or still photos of what looks like thousands of fucking people in a group walking across the border into America, the first question you got to ask yourself, well, where the fuck did these people go? And if it was that many motherfucking people walking across the border into America, when they came over onto the American side, why wasn't it just regular fucking people out there filming the same tens of thousands of fucking people coming across onto the American side, like how the news was showing you? Why we didn't get no footage of that in El Paso? Why we didn't get no footage of that in Southern California or that part of Arizona where they can come up through? Why wasn't we getting footage from regular people? But yeah, you seen footage on the news of tens of thousands, man. It looked like it was hundreds of thousands of motherfuckers just walking. Where did they go once they crossed over into America? They're illegal. Where did they go? Did they just disappear? The groups of people they showed you on the news, whether if it was in a video or whether if it was a still photo, would look like tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people crossing the border. They were at the Mexico-American border, crossing the border. Why wasn't it regular people in those American towns and those American counties, just regular people with fucking cell phone footage showing the same groups of tens of thousands of people walking through American counties and through American towns and shit, like how the news showed us them crossing the border? Where did they go when they got here? See, that's a question none of y'all can answer. That's how come you know they didn't bring 30 or 40 million people here. That's how you know. I went through Chicago. Chicago didn't look nothing like what they was telling you. Nothing. Were there migrants here? Yeah, hell yeah. They brought them out here to the apartment complex I live in out here in DuPage County. Yeah, they were out here. But it wasn't like what they told you. But anyway, I want to move forward to this story. We're going to play a little bit of this. And I'm going to get some commentary on this because this shit is very interesting. Very interesting what's happening with this whole illegal shit, with this whole ICE thing. This shit is very interesting. But let's listen to this story. Let's listen to some of it.
Democracy Now!, democracynow.org. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez. We turn now to the immigration crackdown. ICE detentions have reached all-time highs, surpassing 56,000 people. The largest increase are people arrested with no serious criminal history. Nearly a third of ICE detainees have only immigration violations on their record, up from just 6% in January. This is according to data analyst Andrew Kocher. We turn now to just one case out of Southern California. On Saturday, Narciso Barranco was arrested while working as a landscaper at an IHOP in Santa Ana.
¿Por qué le pegas?
We are watching federal agents. The video taken shows 7 federal agents, all masked, pinning 48-year-old Narciso Barranco to the ground, repeatedly punching him in the head before pushing him into an unmarked vehicle. Barranco was born in Mexico, has been in the United States for more than...
So now the first problem that I have with this situation is the fact that they all got masks on. How honorable can you really be with a goddamn mask on? Right? Now, not only that, we all know what masks were originally created for. If you want in some sort of cold ass climate, or if you wearing a mask and it's not cold outside, we all know that masks were originally worn to cover up your face because you were committing some sort of crime. So now all of a sudden, masks are acceptable to wear if you're a federal agent. This is the same thing that I said about what doing the COVID thing when motherfuckers was wearing the mask and all that other shit. And then they started putting the cloth mask on, and the next thing you know, they started wearing ski masks and all this other shit during COVID. And motherfuckers was going in the store like that. And I was like, wow, just 2-3 years ago, if you walked in the store like this, a motherfucker been pressing the panic button behind the fucking cash register. Motherfucker would have had his hand on the motherfucking pistol if you'd have came in a corner store like that, one of them little fucking bodegas or, whatever, man. Motherfucker had his hand on his pistol just 2 or 3 years prior to COVID. Now all of a sudden it's acceptable for federal agents to wear masks when they go to do their fucking bidding. It's like, wow, really? And ain't nobody saying shit about this. Absolutely nothing. And y'all wonder, man, why I don't be on here like this. The world is fucked up. The hearts and minds of men and women are corrupt. I don't give a fuck what your skin color is. I don't give a shit if you claim to be Aboriginal and indigenous to this land. I don't give a fuck about none of that. The hearts and minds of men and women are corrupt.
30 years. He also has 3 sons in the U.S. military, 2 active duty Marines. One who joins us now is a Marine veteran. Alejandro Branco was able to see his dad in custody yesterday, days after the arrest, still wearing the same blue.
And that's the other thing I have an issue with. It's like, okay, he got 3 sons that's in the military. So fucking what? Who cares? I mean, seeing that we all know that, going in the military really ain't about serving your fucking country. Seeing that we know going in the military is really about serving a ruling class. It's about serving your oppressor. Seeing that we really know that that's the truth. Who gives a fuck that he got 3 sons that are in the Marines? I'm just saying.
Close. We're also joined by Jonathan Hernandez, a council member for the city of Santa Ana, California. We welcome you both to Democracy Now! Let's begin with Alejandro. The country is seeing this horrific video of your dad being beaten, punched in the head by these masked agents. Explain what you understand happened and how he was yesterday when you saw him.
So yesterday when I saw him, he looked beat up. He looked rough. He looked defeated. He was sad. It's just not right.
Now, because we are not where we're supposed to be, right? Because first and foremost, with Latino, Hispanics, or whatever they call themselves or whatever, what they need to understand is niggas can put an end to this. Negroes, black people can put an end to this. We can literally end this. That's what they dealing with. We can end it. We've ended shit like this in the past. Now, with that being said, it's so screwed up because the country is so divided. The country is so divided. Here it is. You got a lot of these ignorant ass motherfuckers that come up here from South America and Mexico and all this other shit. And from the Ukraine and all these other different places, and they turn their fucking nose up at us. They look down on us. Or in the past, when we've helped other cultures of people, the minute they got where they wanted to be, they turned on us. And I work with Mexicans and Puerto Ricans on my job, and we've talked about it. We've talked about this. Straight up. We've talked about it and they know it. I've told them and they know that we could put an end to this, to what they dealing with. We could put an end to that. If we show up in force, they'll stop that shit. Because what you're looking at is racism. Really. This whole ICE shit. What they're doing is they're taking the fact that we've got illegals in this country. We've got criminal illegals in this country. We need to go and get them. And it's like, well, wait a minute. You motherfuckers are the ones that let them over here. Y'all purposely did it too. And now all of a sudden you want to go around and arrest these motherfuckers. And then not only that, you ain't even just arresting like motherfuckers with criminal records and shit. Y'all arresting motherfuckers that's been in this country 10, 15, 20, 30 motherfucking years. No criminal record, nothing. What you're doing is you're taking a situation that you created, you know that order out of chaos shit. You're taking a situation that you created to allow that to be a precursor for something else, all while being racist at the same time. Because that's what it is. This shit that's going on with this illegal immigration shit and the way ICE is treating these people is a form of racism. Period. And it's like how I've said, our people could put an end to this. We know all about racism. We know all about it. Just like a lot of us know that what is happening to a lot of these people is not right. We know it. We know it's not right. The only thing I could tell people is this. Here's my advice behind this video, or this video that I'm making. My advice is to not get involved in this shit, man. Do not cheer for either side. Do not get involved in this shit. And you damn sure shouldn't be cheering for this fucking administration.
The way all this is happening, I think anybody would be scared if they see these guys come up to them masked, not in uniform, guns out. It was bad.
And did your father tell you what they said to him, or as they came up, was this part of a general sweep, or were they specifically just targeting him?
I think it was just a general sweep. There was reports that they were in the area where he was at, and I think they just saw him racially profiled and came up to him. They had no warrant for him. They weren't looking for him. My dad has no criminal history.
Now, you served a tour in Afghanistan.
Now you hear that? The man ain't got no criminal history. They weren't really there for him. They didn't have a warrant or nothing. That sound like some nigga shit. That's what that sound like. It sound like they treated him like a nigga. I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. So-called black, colored, Negro, indigenous, Mexicans, Latinos, Hispanics, whatever the fuck you niggas call yourself, man. I'm gonna tell y'all something, a little bit more of a bit of advice. I know I talk harsh, and sometimes I can come off as being aggressive, but in reality, I'm really a genuine person, man. I really care. I really do. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. Y'all better stop playing so motherfucking much, man. Y'all better stop this fucking shit. Stop playing so much. This shit is not a game. You know how they take these foreigners when they come over here and they sit them down in the interviewing room and they interview them and they tell them to not fuck with our people? And they do it to all cultures. They do it to Mexicans too. They do it to Hispanics and Latinos too when they come here. They do it to them too. They tell them, do not fuck with our people. You guys better stop playing so much. This shit is not a game. I've been on this job I'm at now about 4 months. And I don't know how many times in 4 months I done told the people that I work with, the closest people that I work with, because a couple of them is Mexicans and one of them is a Puerto Rican. And it's like how they told them, it's like, man, I don't know why y'all motherfuckers keep playing. Y'all be playing like y'all don't have a black grandfather or a black great-grandmother or something. Y'all need to stop playing so fucking much. And you should see them just drop their head. Like the Puerto Rican kid I work with the curly hair and shit. I'm looking at bro like, bro, stop playing, man. You know where that curly hair came from. And he don't deny it. He don't deny it. It's like, y'all better stop playing so fucking much, man. This is the reason for why my people are not involved in this. And I told him, I said, you notice you don't really see no so-called black people that's really, really standing with y'all with the shit that you know, because they doing this shit to everybody. Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Mexicans, Motherfuckers from South America, they fucking with everybody. It ain't everybody that's a part of that Hispanic and Latino shit. That Mexicans, Latino, South American, Venezuela, Hispanic shit. Anybody that fall under that umbrella, they fucking with. Period. And I'm telling y'all, man, I'm not asking y'all. I'm telling y'all to stop playing so much. You still got motherfucking pale-skinned people on YouTube with their own YouTube channel talking crazy about our people, talking about how we the most violent, most disgusting people on the planet, and we all need to be eradicated from the planet, all while constantly ignoring all of the bombs and shit that pale-skinned folks drop. All of the bombs they drop, all of the fucking lying, conniving, evil, violent shit they do. They're violent as little children, killing their parents and all this other silly shit. All while just completely just ignoring that. Motherfuckers better stop playing so much, man. You have to stop playing so much. See, I'm going to get on here. I'm going to say what it is I got to say. I don't care who don't like it. And I'm going to get off of here. It's just that fucking simple. I have a habit of calling people out. I call out everybody. I don't give a fuck who you are. You could be my family. You could be a pale-skinned motherfucker. You could be somebody who live next door to me, or you could be somebody on YouTube. I don't give a fuck. How many times I gotta tell y'all I'm tired of all this shit and any motherfucking body that's participating in it? I'm sick of all of it. It's just that goddamn simple.
Talk about the rules of engagement that you had in place when you were there, and should federal agents be held to a similar or higher standard than soldiers in war zones?
Yeah, for sure. I do believe.
Now let me go back before I even comment on this dumb shit this dude just said. Let me rewind. I want y'all to hear that again. Let me rewind that.
Tour in Afghanistan. Can you talk about the rules of engagement that you had in place when you were there, and should federal agents be held to a similar or higher standard than soldiers in war zones?
Do you hear this sick son of a bitch talking about the rules of engagement when Buddy was over in Afghanistan and shit? It's like, homie, first and foremost, we went into Afghanistan without Congress approval. We went into Iraq without Congress approval. They just bombed Iran. The orange-faced man got on TV proudly talking about it was a great success. We crushed them. We annihilated them. We destroyed them. And you did this shit without Congress approval. What the fuck are you talking about rules of engagement, man? Wait a minute. Look, y'all just got to be patient with me. I ain't never been in the military. Y'all know that. I've never tried to make it seem as if I knew any and everything that go on with the military and how everything fucking works, right? But I ain't stupid either. And the vast majority of y'all know that. So when you say some shit to me like rules of engagement, but I know you went over into a fucking country to do war under rules of engagement without Congress approval, I thought that started there. If you want to talk about rules of engagement, wouldn't it start with Congress approval to go to war? But what the fuck do I know? I'm just a dumbass civilian, right?
Yeah, for sure. I do believe that there has to be a proper rules of engagement. I don't even know if they've made that public yet. And over there, I mean, you couldn't really do much. You can't hit back. You can't shoot. You can't do nothing unless someone were to shoot at you or directly try to harm you.
After the video of Barranco's arrest went viral, the Department of Homeland Security responded to a local news report with a post.
And what was it about his arrest that made his shit go viral? That be the other shit that I be trying to warn you guys about, especially my YouTube subscribers. I be trying to warn y'all about that shit. When everybody taking to Twitter and, oh yeah, Donald Trump just took to Twitter and just announced just how successful the Iranian bombing was. And be careful with that shit. When they come to you with details as to how they carried out the mission and shit, it's like the military don't operate like that. They don't tell you, yeah, we finna bomb these niggas at 3 a.m. New York time and shit. Yeah, we gonna send out a couple of motherfucking F-22s, some F-117s, and some B-2 bombers and shit. It's gonna be 6 B-2 bombers, 3 F-17s, and 16 motherfucking F-22. They don't tell you. They don't give you detail. Oh my. This is the shit that I get tired of. Because I don't even hear veterans standing up and saying, wait a minute, since when do we start just giving away intel and shit? And we just start I don't even hear fucking veterans saying that. Since when do they just get on national motherfucking TV and just tell you what they finna go do to these niggas? Whatever happened to the element of surprise? But when I say the shit be fake and phony, motherfuckers, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. It's like, well, no, actually I do. And it's no different in this fucking situation. How the fuck did his father's getting his fucking ass beat up and shit by ICE? How the fuck did that shit go viral? How? Who was responsible for that? For any of you all who still believe in social media, who still don't believe that AI is in 100% control of social media, I don't give a fuck what social media site joint you belong to. That's for all y'all that don't believe that when they tell you that that shit went viral is fake. They put the shit there. It didn't go viral.
Next, saying, quote, he assaulted federal law enforcement with a weed whacker. Perhaps the mainstream media would like our officers to stand there and be mowed down instead of defending themselves. What a completely slanted portrayal of what actually happened, unquote, the government said. Your response?
My dad didn't try to attack them at all. In that video, it shows them pepper spraying him right before he turns, and I think it's just a natural instinct and body movement to try to defend himself.
I want to bring Jonathan Hernandez into this conversation. You're a city council member with the Santa Ana City Council. You shared the viral video showing Narciso Barranco being punched by the Border Patrol agents. Can you talk about your first reaction when you saw this landscaper being taken down by masked men? And my question...
First and foremost, I've seen reports all over the fucking place of these cocksuckers pulling up with no license plates on the vehicles, no name tags, no badge numbers, no shields, nothing. No ID, refusing to identify themselves, got mask on in the whole motherfucking 9 yards. That's a recipe for trouble, man. That's a recipe for trouble. What that is doing is opening the door for law enforcement to cover their face. These motherfuckers will be at your door surrounding your shit with no badges, no identifying markers, no uniforms, nothing. Talking about they cops. And next thing you know, they done hauled your ass off. You go to sleep and wake up and you're in a bathtub full of ice and your kidneys on eBay and shit. Like, the hearts and minds of men and women are corrupt. That's why no more people are speaking out about this shit than what you see. Because people also have not only are the hearts and minds of men and women are corrupt, but people also have a damn bad habit of not giving a fuck as long as it ain't happening to them or somebody they care about. And I'm telling you, man, the vast majority of people, they already paying for shit. They don't even realize a lot of the shit they going through now is them reaping what they've sown. People don't even understand. Again, the hearts and minds of men and women are corrupt. That's how come they don't realize that. I know what they doing with this migration, illegal immigration shit is wrong. I know it. I know motherfucking well Donald Trump being of German descent. All right? For all y'all motherfuckers who want to keep playing these games. He is of German descent. Donald Trump don't have a right to tell nobody shit. Neither did Joe Biden, neither did Barack Obama, neither did the Clintons and the Bushes and the rest of them, Ronald Reagan, none of them motherfuckers. They ain't have a right to tell nobody shit. They are the descendant of peasants. put in power and put in place by these sellout ass, indigenous ass, aboriginal ass niggas. By the Boule. By the Prince Hall. That's who put them where they are. Niggas. So I like to tell people, whether if you're one of these dumbass ninjas or pale skinned folks or Hispanics or Latinos or whatever the case may be, when you vote, you get what you voted for. Even when you stand up and say some stupid shit like, I didn't vote for this. I didn't know he was going to do this. I didn't know she was going to do that. Okay? So what we dealing with right here, we're going to have a pale skinned person on screen that's going to break some shit down in a way that I try to break it down. But, I like to use other people, too, as a way to try to prove my point. Or somebody else's, content or whatever to prove my point. So I want to start off by saying fair use. The person whose channel this is, name is Larkin Rose. We're not here to slander this guy and to, talk bad and speak ill of him and this, that, and the other. It's just that there are some things that he's talking about that I want to point out and to show you all how this is some of the same shit I've been saying. Some of the same stuff. And this is a pale skinned guy. He's saying some of the same shit. So, seeing that a lot of our people tend to not believe shit, they tend to not listen until they hear it from a pale skinned person, I'm going to let this motherfucker talk about what happens when you vote. All right?
Hey, Larkin Rose here. And invariably, when I make fun of people who vote for a master and point out that you tried to appoint a master over yourself and you got a master over yourself, that's not how you get to freedom. Whenever I point that out, invariably there'll be a bunch of people who say, you don't offer any solutions. What they mean is, I don't offer any solutions that fit within the paradigm and the way they've always thought. I offer the only solution, literally the only solution to statism and authoritarianism. And in a second, I'll describe why it's the only solution. But it's a little bit like somebody, oh no, you have a fire in your house. Quick, grab some gasoline to throw on it. And if I say, don't throw gasoline on it, that'll make it worse. Oh, so you just don't want me to do anything about it? No, I don't want you to do something that'll make it worse. So you think that not throwing gasoline on it will put the fire out? Nope. You have to not throw gasoline on it and then do something else to put the fire out. So when I make fun of people for voting and choosing a master, and I say, don't.
That's kind of like how I be telling motherfuckers, why the fuck you got to wait till their term is up to vote them out, to put an end to the shit that they done? And then how come people don't notice that when the term is up and they do get voted out, the person who replaces them seems to do identically what they do or worse?
Vote, it's stupid. It legitimizes the game in the eyes of people and things like that. They decide for some reason, because they're being emotional and defensive, that if you just don't vote, everything will magically fix. No. The only solution is disobey and resist. If somebody claims the right to rule you, the only way that stops is if you disobey and resist. Now, of course, that depends on how.
But when you hear me say that you could at least told them no, you got these stupid motherfuckers out here, man, I'm just one person. What can I do? I can't do that. I'm just one person. It's like, motherfucker, you could have told them no. And when that time came, you could have stood on that no. But that never crossed through small-minded, the small-minded people that are out here. The one with shit for brains. But anyway, let's go.
Many people disobey and resist, which is why step one, which is entirely what most of my life is focused on, is getting more and more people to give up statism and the insane belief in authority so they stop feeling like they're obligated to obey whatever crap the political parasites and psychopaths decide to call law. You're not. The law doesn't matter.
Well, see, Larkin, that didn't happen until people started going from calling these cocksuckers public servants to leaders. Now they feel obligated and mandated to follow what these assholes say. Because they didn't realize the dire effect that taking the Constitution out of the school, which essentially that's what they did. They didn't put any more standards or parameters on passing it in order to graduate or to go to the next grade and etc. like how they used to do when we were kids. People didn't realize the dire effect that it would have. So now here it is, you got motherfucking parents and grandparents right now in 2025 that don't know the fucking Constitution. Because if they did, they would understand that the solution to getting rid of a fucking piece of shit politician while he's in office is not to wait until his term is up to vote him out. They would understand within the Constitution there are guidelines to get rid of that son of a bitch while he's still in office. But anyway, I digress.
That's just a word they use to describe the arbitrary crap they make up and then indoctrinate you into thinking that all good people would obey the law, which just means the politicians and demands of power-happy pieces of crap.
Right.
No, that's not at all a measure of your goodness. So yeah, it's a numbers game. It depends how many people disobey and resist. But there's a reason I say that disobeying and resisting is the only solution. Because anything that isn't disobeying and resisting is, by definition, obeying and going along with those.
Now keep in mind, disobeying and resisting can be something as simple as saying no. I'm going to say that one more time. Disobeying and resisting can be as simple as just telling them no. For all these cowards that are out here. For all my YouTube subscribers that watch this video, especially if you make it up to this point, you go to a loved one or to a friend or somebody that you know, a coworker, a neighbor, or whatever, and you just look them dead in the eyes and you say, tell that motherfucker no. And just walk away. And leave them speechless. Like, what are they talking about? Just walk up to your husband or your wife or your girlfriend or whatever and just say, man, baby, you could tell them motherfuckers no. And just turn around and walk away. Disobeying and resisting can be as simple as just telling them no.
Who claim the right to rule you. Cooperating with the slave master doesn't get you to freedom. Disobeying and resisting the slave master can if there's enough people and if it's, there's 1,000 different ways they can do it. So I can say it's the one solution, but it may look a whole bunch of different ways because there's a whole bunch of different ways to disobey and resist and not go along with the power-happy psychos. But overall, generally speaking, the only solution is to disobey and resist because anything else, by definition, means going along with them. And so that has nothing to do with protesting or voting or running for office. Those are all just ways to try to whine to the rulers to have them give you permission to be a little bit more free, which is not going to make you actually be free ever. So, 2 steps. Get as many people as possible to understand that they own themselves.
Every protest gives them power. Every time you get within an inch of a cop's face and you yelling and screaming and all this other shit within a protest, all you doing is giving him power. Your power. That's all you're doing. When you're marching and chanting and all this other bullshit, all you doing is giving them power. Tell them motherfuckers no and stay home. That's it. End of story.
And then get those people to disobey and resist. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, well, that doesn't work. If you disobey, that you just think ignoring them will make you be free. A bunch of people say this too. By yourself, no. It may make a tank end up in your living room. Right. You will probably get killed in a hail of gunfire if all by yourself, you and you alone, decide to disobey and resist, unless you can run off and hide somewhere and not get noticed. If so, more power to you. Good job. But the overall solution for society, not just a given individual, is enough people disobeying and resisting. Now, the beauty of this is it doesn't have to be everybody. It doesn't even have to be a majority. It doesn't even have to be a very big minority. There's a bunch of people who will say, well, they won't let us. The state is too powerful and too big. And the state is always vastly outnumbered by the people it claims the right to rule. But I wanted to spell this out because it's sort of simple and obvious when you understand it.
And you wonder why y'all always keep hearing me say it's the people's fault. You keep hearing me say that. You keep hearing me say it's our fault. As so-called Aboriginal people to this land. You keep hearing me tell you it's our fault. Don't talk to me about no fake Jew, man. I don't wear that shit. Don't talk to me about no motherfucking Latinos and all this other shit. Let's talk about these niggas. Something people just don't want to do. I keep saying that shit because that should be our only focus. We shouldn't be talking about nothing else. Nothing else other than getting our fucking people together. What are we going to do to either turn these little niggas around in our neighborhood that's toting guns and all this other shit? And the ones that can't be turned around, what are we going to do to eradicate they ass? We shouldn't be talking about nothing else. Either you stop toting guns around here thinking you tough and carjacking people or this, that, and the other, or else. You motherfuckers want to show up in groups and think you finna be disorderly and fuck some shit up? No, the cops ain't finna handle this. It's the people in that area that you just went to where you thought it was sweet, where you thought motherfuckers was gonna honor that. It's gonna be them people that deal with you, not the fucking cops. When we gonna have a conversation about that? Because I've been telling y'all for the longest, it's our fault. It's the people's fault. Period. It's just that motherfucking simple. I've never seen groups and groups of people benefit from motherfuckers taking donations and shit on YouTube. As a matter of fact, from what we've known, from when it come down to the Red Cross and all these other motherfuckers who take donations very rarely ever do what they say they gonna do with the fucking money. The Red Cross is an example of that, and so is Umar Johnson. So y'all can get the fuck out of here with this. That shit ain't gonna fix nothing. It may help your ass, the individual, but it ain't gonna fix a goddamn thing. It's too much clicking and motherfucking politicking. This is the reason why I stay to myself. Got time for the politics and the bullshit. It's the people's fault. Period. When are we gonna deal with that? It's not what they're doing. It's what you accept. It's what I accept. And every fucking body else. That's the bottom line.
But so many people have been trained to think that no, the only civil, proper response to authoritarianism and injustice is to whine a bunch and protest and then vote for your next abuser and see how that turns out. How's that going for you?
And it's like, these are adults doing this. What he just said is 100% true. And it's fucking grown men and women that are doing this. They're no better than their children. Every fucking election, they do the same goddamn thing. Every election, man.
Or because the idea of disobedience is just outside of the realm of anything they ever hear in the media. Like, how often do you hear Republican or Democrat politicians say, you know what you should do is disobey all of us. We give commands and demand money from you. You should not give us money and don't do what we say. None of them are ever.
Riddle me this, people. The Republican Party know that paying taxes is voluntary. If they were so fucking cool and kosher, why they don't say nothing? Why they don't come out in mass droves and protest against their U.S. citizens paying taxes? Huh? Because you being a U.S. citizen is what deems you to have to pay fucking taxes. Only United States citizens have to pay taxes. And when you understand what the United States is under Title 26 of the Internal Revenue Code, you understand that you're supposed to say you are not that. Why is it that the Republicans don't step forward and say, hey man, paying taxes is voluntary. To force people to pay it is illegal? Because they benefit from your tax dollars too. So how in the fuck is the Republican Party better than the fucking Democratic Party? You see, ain't nothing went nowhere with the taxes. This bullshit with Trump talking about. You notice this big, beautiful bill and all this other bullshit that still ain't been signed yet and all this other shit where it's supposed to take away taxes on tips, take away taxes on overtime and all this other bullshit. We're going to see how that go. We're going to see how that go. I already know how it's going to go, but we're going to see. Anyway, play a little bit more of this and I'm going to get up out of here. I think I've made my point in this video.
We're going to say that because all of them, left and right, sought out positions of power because they want to rule you. That's why they did it. That's what they do.
And then they rule you with your money. That's another fucking thing that's just historic. It's a historic fucking trap that everybody keeps falling into. Back in the day when places had kings and shit, it was the same goddamn thing. The motherfucking king demand more money and he used more money to grow a bigger foot to shove up your ass. It hasn't changed. This is how you know you have adult children having children. Meaning you're an adult, but you have a childlike state of fucking mind and you really don't have any real critical thinking skills and you're 55 years old. Because if you did, you would have enough sense to stop voting. You've been voting since you was 18, motherfucker. You're 55 years old. Nothing has ever came your way by voting. Nothing good anyway.
They get there. So, I'm going to describe something that should be pretty easy to imagine. Imagine if 10%, we're just going to do the US for now. You could do the whole world, whatever. If 10% of people in the US were magically voluntarists tomorrow, for some reason, 10% of the population, just 1 in 10 Americans, thought about it really hard tonight and said, yeah, I think you're right. Political authority is bogus and illegitimate, and I have no obligation to obey. Now, there still can be consequences, like you're also not obligated to obey a carjacker or a thug of the mafia. It doesn't mean they can't break your kneecaps and hurt you. So the fact that you may have no obligation to obey somebody doesn't mean bad things won't happen if you resist. But consider the scenario of just 10% of the population, which is 30-some million people, just 1 in 10 Americans, if they magically turn into voluntarists by tomorrow morning. Now, first of all, what happens if those 1 in 10 run off and vote? Nothing. You lose. You're only 10% of the population. You play the stupid game. You're still dominated by a bunch of psychopaths. So yeah, that's a really stupid thing to do if only 10% of the population actually wants freedom, is play a game where you're letting the other 90% tell you you have to be a subject of a ruling class. So that's out the window as a stupid idea. Let's start with taxes. If 30-some million people in this country said, we're not going to hand over money to the IRS or the state thieves anymore. We're not going to pay up. We're not going to file. We're not going to tell them what we're doing. We're not going to squeal on each other by reporting what we pay people with 1099s and all that and W-2s. We're not going to withhold from each other if I work for you or you work for me. I'm not going to rob you or let you rob me on behalf of the ruling class. Us 30-some million people are going to start trading in a way that we don't tell the ruling class about it and we don't give them a cut. And we can have our own banks and stuff that don't cooperate with liens and levies. Right now, if you have your money in a bank and the IRS goes to the bank and says, hey bank, give us that guy's money, they go, yes sir, right away. If you have private people who don't believe in the divine right of politicians, then they have banks and the IRS comes and says, give us their money, and they say, no, screw you, then that doesn't work. So, just 1/10 of the population. Now you're going to say, well, they're going to arrest you. Really? They're going to arrest 34, what are we up to? 34 million people. Really? You think they have space for 34 million people? And here's the little problem. They have to put those people.
That's how you know they don't have space for 34 million motherfucking illegals, let alone 100 million. They don't have space. Where you put them? Where were the people, man? There will be towns and cities saturated. It will be more of them than the townsmen. You didn't see that shit? Not one time during this whole flood of migration shit. I'm going to end where he was talking about right there because I think I kind of made my point when I've expressed to you all that I'm not the only person that acknowledges the fact that it's the people's fault. The people go along with this shit. And like how you heard them say, if one or two people do it, it's like, well, no, of course it ain't gonna work. I mean, they get rid of them some bitches and you won't even hear about them. You know, but at the end of the day, they cannot do nothing more to you than what you allow. And if you allow these motherfuckers to get up every day and to fuck you over and do all these stupid ass things to you, then you're going to continue to get what it is that you've always got. And at the end of the day, that's the bottom line. And that's what we dealing with these motherfucking migrants. Same situation. The people that brought them here turned on them. And y'all still ain't figured it out, man. People still ain't figured out how evil and fucked up this shit is. But anyway, I'm going to end it there. It's the original Longwood coming in at you. Much love to y'all. Shout out to my subscribers. Much love to everybody. And I'm going to sign out. Peace.